Okay, so I always like to start with just centering in and taking a moment to take a breath, because no matter what you're doing today, if you're in the middle of work, sneaking in a listen, or if you are buying a car at the dealership, which is currently happening with our beautiful guests here tonight, we all have so much going on, and you may not be able to do this because you might be in front of people, but I'm going to take a breath for you to ground our energy in, and then we'll set intentions and we'll get started. There might be people that come and go. There might be people that leave. It's totally up to you. And if you're watching this on the replay, hello. All right, so everybody close your eyes with me if you can, and we're going to take 3 breaths together at the same time. What this does is allow us to tune in and really ground in and get present in the moment. So first one, deep breath in, holding it at the top, and release through the mouth. Perfect. Next one, deep breath in, holding it, and release through the mouth. Last one, deep breath in, fill all the way up, hold it, take another breath in, and release. Keeping your eyes closed for a moment, as I set an intention that God in the universe speaks through me today during this class and gives every single one of us the exact experience, the knowledge, the wisdom, the realizations, the confidence, the power, the clarity, whatever it is that we each need the most. My intention is that we receive it during this session and that it exceeds our expectations, because I believe that you are here for a reason. Something brought you to this moment, and there's something important for you to know, feel, or hear from this time together today. So I'd ask you to just be open and allow and trust. And if you have any personal intention that you want to set right now in this moment, something you want to get out of it, something you want to feel, anything that you would like, you can just to yourself really quickly, talk to the universe and state your intention. Perfect. We're going to seal everything in with just 3 more breaths, just like we did at the beginning. So first one, deep breath in, hold, release. Next one, deep breath in, hold, and release. Last one, biggest breath, deep breath in, hold it, and release. Perfect. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes back up to the room. Now, I hope you guys are having an amazing day so far, feeling amazing, and I hope that got you centered and it got you present and open, and it got us on the same wavelength. That's why I like to do it the most. So I want to tell you just a brief, quick story of how I got into this space, and then we'll go directly into what we're talking about tonight and keep it potent and concise, yet flowing. I have a lot of things that I want to talk to you about. There are 3 main things, mind, body, and soul, that I feel are essential before walking down this path. But a quick backstory of mine. So I, years and years ago, I would say in 2000, no, I don't know when I started law school. I don't know when I made this decision in my mind that I wanted to be an attorney, but I went down this path. And I went down this path without very much intention, without very much forethought, just logic about This was a practical path. I liked school. I really based the decision off a couple small things like logic. It was a good decision. It was going to open up some pathways for me. And I liked school. Like my qualifications for making this decision were like 3 things. And it's funny because it reminds me of like dating back in the day when I wasn't aware of intentionality and I wasn't aware of intuition and manifestation and this whole like other type of living. And I used to pick who I wanted to date off like 3 things. Like, did I find them hot? Were they interested in me? And were they nice? Like 3 things. My list for manifesting Matt, my now fiance, was like 150 things. My list for my dream home was like 100 things. So that's just to give you an example that in this path, I've learned that there's so much more available to us that we can ask for in the different areas of our life, especially career. And I encourage you to do that and to play in this world where you can really ask for all that you want. And it takes spending time to get very clear, which is something we're going to do in one of the next classes. But the more clear, the more deliberate, the more intentional about this area of your life in any area, the better, because you really do attract what you put out. And when you put out a list of 3 things, you get those 3 things and nothing more. When you put a list out of 150 and you get like 147, like we're doing really great. So I got into the career of law with like 3 things that I wanted. I got those 3 things. And then I was like, fuck, I am not happy. I didn't realize that I could ask for happiness. And so I went down this whole self-discovery route, wanting to find my purpose and wanting to find what I was passionate around. So around 2016, I was playing around with all these things I had discovered in manifestation and in personal growth and all of these things. And I was playing around with these concepts, and I started playing around with this in the area of career. And I didn't have that 150 thing list, but I had much more, and I had much different on the list than when I got into law, right? When I started. So what I put on the list were things that I really spent intentional time with myself thinking about. And I thought, if I want to make a big change, and if I want to really like seize the juice, that's not the right word, seize the most out of it, squeeze the juice, there we go, out of this life, then I really want something that I love. Like I want to manifest something that I love. I want to manifest something that makes me happy. I want to manifest something that lights me up, where I can make my own hours. I'm not meant to work in a desk job. I sucked at all desk jobs, you guys, like sucked. There's something that rebels inside of me that just like wants to burst out. So I kept failing at these different jobs. Anyways, I knew that I wanted to make my own hours. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to go wherever I want. I saw people live in this laptop lifestyle, and thank God for Instagram. Like we hate on Instagram because it can be annoying, but it can also be such an expander because you get glimpses into new possibilities that may not be available in your hometown, may not be available in the circle of friends you have. So it really is dope. And it's like this portal. So I started seeing laptop life, and I was like, fuck, I want that too. And then I saw someone else that I followed online who was collaborating with friends and talking about creativity and values. And I was like, oh, that can be part of your career. Okay, sign me up for that. So I made this list when I was manifesting, and I said, universe, I want my passion. I want my calling. I want my gifts. I want what I'm here to do. I want flexibility, freedom, creativity. I made a list. I also put on like manifestation. I also put on like some various interests I had at the time that were like lighting me up. Like I was into like events and beautiful hotels and travel. So I put like a lot of these things on the list too. But the list was strong in the sense that it really encapsulated what I would truly define as a fulfilling career for me. And so, as the universe does, when you make a strong intention and you start stepping towards it, it started taking me down this path little by little. It took me to, and I can document the whole thing, and I feel like that's like a good podcast. But one of the most standout events was in 2017. Gabby Bernstein, who, if you don't know her, she's a best-selling author. She's a spiritual teacher. She was like a cool spiritual teacher, like this young New York blonde, stylish, wearing cool stuff, like girl. And I was like, I had never heard about someone talking about spirituality like this. And so I was following her. I was a fan. I was watching her videos. I loved what she was talking about. I felt very inspired and pulled. And at the time, I had just also been learning that you're supposed to, because I was seeking, I was on this whole thing, and I learned that you were supposed to pay attention to the things that lit you up. So I was awake and aware. I was like, okay, what's lighting me up? And she lit me up. And the way she spoke to me and the content she created, I don't even think I called it content at the time. It's like just cool videos on YouTube about like how to connect to your guides, like all these things. She lit me up, and it was undeniable. And so I started also playing with that time at the time, following and trusting the things that lit me up. So she produced this event in New York. It was called Spirit Junkie Masterclass Level 1. It was a training for spiritual business people. And it was 2 days. It was in New York. I was a full-time attorney at the time. And it was $2,500. I had never bought something for myself more pricey than a book as far as the personal growth world, like hair appointments, all the things I was spending money on. But self-growth work, I had only like purchased books. So this was a really big deal on a lot of levels. It was a really big deal I felt like I was going against my parents in the sense I was using my hard-earned savings for something weird that they didn't know about. Like I needed approval almost, like all these weird things were coming into it. I was back and forth for so long. But I decided, and I made the decision to go for it. And I booked this trip. I flew out there. I knew one person. I paid this. It was a huge chunk for me at the time. And I bought my hotel, I bought my flights, and I was like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm doing this. I don't even have a spiritual business. This might be a waste of time. You know what? But I'm going to trust this. I want to go. And that weekend did something to me that was a permanent shift. It cracked open my heart. It cracked open my spirit, my calling, and ignited me to the fact that there's something special within me, and there's something that the world deeply needs. And that this calling that I was feeling myself move towards or feel attracted to was not because it was cool. It wasn't because all the things. It was because it was deeply needed. That there are some of us that are called to certain spaces, to create certain things, to do certain things. And not only are we called, but these things are actually needed and they light up the world in some way. And that weekend made me feel like I could be a part of something so much bigger than me, that I could be a part of a shift in the world. And I wanted that. I wanted to do something meaningful. I wanted to figure out my way in this. And I said yes to it. And I remember her saying how important it was to just say yes to the calling. She said, the first step that's required is just to say yes and to trust that the universe has your back and the universe will lead you down a path for yourself, and that you're supported, and that this calling is much bigger than you and will carry you forth. That shit changed me, and it changed the way I looked at career forever. And my hope for you is that in this 3 weeks or these series of classes, whichever way you choose to join, that you will feel ignited and you will know that you have something amazing to share and that you do have gifts and talents and that you do have skills. And I will tell you right now, your gifts and your talents, you may know what they are right now, but if you don't, like I didn't, I used to identify gifts and talents like, being an amazing painter, having great style. I came to learn that gifts and talents, we all have them. You wouldn't be here at this time if you didn't. And they're very subtle. For my experience, they can be. And it doesn't mean that they're not powerful. But if you have the gift of communicating, or the gift of being deeply empathetic, or a gift of intuition, or a gift of creativity, or a gift of holding space for people, or a gift of advice, or a gift at meditating, whatever it is, if you have a gift, it's needed. And you do have one, you have many. And I guarantee when you start moving in the way of your calling, not only one gift will come to light, but you're going to realize that you have many gifts and many skills and many things within you that have just been untapped up until this point. So again, my intention for you is that you feel ignited and you feel excited to explore this for yourself and to explore new avenues and to uncover more gifts, not just for you, but for everyone you're connected to, for the ripple effect of what this work really is. And I wanted to start with this type of material for tonight, because anytime that it has been hard in my career path, and I will tell you right now, I've had shitty months and I've had times where things haven't felt like they're working, and times when things felt like they didn't add up, and I questioned my calling, and I questioned if I made all this shit up, and I doubt myself. That the one thing that always brings me back, and I still practice this to this day, is to connect back to the bigger picture of what this work does for each person you touch, for the people that they touch, and the ripple effect that continues to go on. Because if you fucking sit down and think about it, it is wild. Said in my Instagram live the other day, you could pick to do one meditation, or write one line in one post, or work your light just in your daily life and open the door, or smile, or send like an energetic blessing to someone. And the shift that you create from doing that not only shifts that one person, but you don't know who they're going to encounter that day. And because you upped the level of the energy, of the frequency, of the light, of the love, you changed the game for anyone that's touched that day. There could be someone who is considering, this is extreme, but taking their life. There could be someone who is considering breaking up with someone, or someone who's considering doing something dangerous and violent. And because that one person opened the door, or that one person was in a better mood because your meditation was kinder to them, or asked them how they're doing, you could change them. You could change their choices and their path. And I believe with all my heart that this work does this. You don't have to privately coach. You don't have to follow any specific path or do big retreats, but there's some way that your light is going to make such a freaking difference. And when you connect back to that, it makes everything in the right place again. It makes you able to navigate the voids, the empty times, the times where it's not working, where you feel like you're talking to like thin air. And if you stay the path, and you follow your heart and you work with these things we're going to talk about tonight and beyond, it's going to work for you. And you're going to see how everything had to happen exactly the way it did. And okay, I'm excited you're here. I don't know why I didn't get myself water tonight. Like I have no water. I'm like, how did I think to teach without water? And I know I can get some, but I feel in a flow. So maybe I can manifest Matt like bringing me some water. Okay. So I'm very excited for you. And I want to congratulate you for being here and saying yes to this call, at least. And I hope that you say yes to other things that we'll talk about tonight. For tonight, there's three main things that I feel like are essential in starting off any career, not just being a light worker, not just coaching or teaching or facilitating or creating. But these three things are essential for anyone wanting to just bring light to whatever they're doing. I started practicing these things even when I was an attorney, to bring light to my clients, to the environment, to the circumstances, the rooms that I was in, and it changed things. So you have an ability to practice your bringing your light now. And you matter, no matter what career you're in or what you do, you matter. And we are called to bring this to the world because I fucking need it. And you know this, it's crazy. All right, so we're gonna talk about your heart. We're going to talk about your mind, your mindset that you got to have. And I'm telling you, if you're here and you're not remotely wanting to do this work, this is going to serve you. It's going to make you happier and better and more connected to anything you're doing and give you a more positive mindset. So heart stuff, mind stuff, and then soul stuff. And I have some notes here. So if you see me looking, it's just because I don't want to miss anything. Okay. Do you guys need anything? Is everybody good at the moment? Okay. You feel free to hit up my chat if you need something. All right. So a heart thing. In order to really serve at your highest and really inject the most energy and passion and confidence into your career, you've got to make this a heart thing. You've got to think more about the person on the other end of whatever you're creating, whatever you're doing. You have to fall in love with helping, serving, and with the people. Anytime we make this about us, our ego is going to come in and like, we're going to be on a frequency that is not a love frequency, and it's going to fuck things up, make it more difficult. So you have to always remember to lead with your heart and put your heart into everything you create. Make your heart your focus, make giving love in every post, bringing the energy of love in every post, every move, every decision, every creation, everything you do has got to be with heart. And I know that could maybe sound corny, but there is a power in it. And there's a power that is enacted when you have serving and helping and loving others and solving their problems first versus your own agenda. Because money and outcomes and things are great, but they don't fulfill you. And if you're leading with those, this business is not going to work. It might work for a little, but you're not going to be happy with it. And eventually people are going to feel the disconnection. So you've got to get your heart into it. And you're going to have to remember, and I'm going to give you some questions tonight to answer to get you into that place. It's okay if you haven't felt in that place. It's easy to deviate sometimes, but remember, you can always come back. I just want the first thing, the go-to thing, to be about the heart. So make this for them, not you. Make it about who you serve. Make it about the world. Make it about this bigger thing, and always the frequency of love. Heart. Now we're going to go into mind, because you have to. This is going to be the biggest, no matter what path you go down, this is going to be the biggest personal growth evolution of your life. And your insecurities, your fears, your things, thanks for the heart, will come to the surface. So I don't want to talk about anything before we talk about creating a very strong, powerful mindset for yourself. And this is something that has got to be nurtured on the daily. This is something you don't just fix once, but it's a constant adjustment of your mind and a purposeful selection of better, higher thoughts. And your mindset can elevate over time, but I don't feel like the work ever stops. But I know, and to encourage you, my mindset, my baseline level of positivity and choosing higher thoughts is worlds above where it was years ago. And the positive results in my life from this mindset are astronomical. So just know that every time you shift one thought, it matters, and it's adding up to a whole collective shift in your mindset. And again, a mindset is just your thoughts, right? Your collection of thoughts around particular topics. You can have a success mindset. You can have an abundance mindset. You can have a mindset that is a consciousness of gratitude, where you're constantly thinking about, it's whatever you're constantly thinking about. And so we have to always be aware of the thoughts that are going on, of the collective mindset that we're in, always, and always allowing yourself to tune a little higher. There's no perfection in this. There is no need to be perfect. But as a whole, we should really be caring what's going on in our mind, caring how we speak to ourselves, caring what we say is possible for ourselves, caring about self-judgment, replacing that with self-encouragement in every single facet of our life. So I want you to think about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 mindsets that we want to cultivate. A success mindset that you have to, okay, it's so easy. And I'm speaking almost more to women because I find this more prevalent with women than men, but we doubt so much that we can achieve things. And we doubt that we're good enough to make things happen. And we doubt ourselves so much. So I want you to create a success mindset. And I'm going to talk about how, but generally a success mindset that knows that decides that I'm going to be successful at whatever I do. I'm going to be successful. I deserve success. I'm going to manifest success. I'm going to have success for myself and success for others. And also know that your success inspires other people's success. And why are we making success such a hard to reach thing? Why don't we start deciding now and creating a mindset that we are meant to be successful, that God in the universe wants us to be successful too, and that we're not alone in this journey, and that it might feel challenging at times, but the end goal, the overall trend of our life is and will be success. Okay, so success mindset. The next, number 2 type of mindset that I want you to always have and just work on and cultivate and grow is an abundance mindset. There is an abundance of clients out there. There's an abundance of ideas for you. There's an abundance of money to be made. There's an abundance of stages to speak on. There's an abundance of books to write. There's an abundance of possibilities for you. And this is in contrast to scarcity or lack. An abundance mindset. There's always enough. So no client that doesn't sign with you is going to really, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, because you're a heart-centered person, as I am too. And every single fucking person that comes into our world is going to matter to us. But we also know and believe and trust in scarcity, because if someone is meant for us, they're going to be with us. And this applies to clients and people that sign up for things and listeners and all these things. There's more than enough. And someone not choosing you does not mean that you aren't enough. You're not good at it. You said the wrong thing. And this is like dating too. It doesn't have anything to do with your worth, value, or your destiny to be in this space. So there's an abundance. There's always more. Okay. So abundance mindset. Then this is just kind of like an easy one, but a positive mindset. Like choosing to think positively about your life, about your business, about your clients, about different outcomes, because I have gone through the experience so many times where something doesn't happen right away and I get completely scared and write it off and feel like a failure and all these things. Just a positive mindset about what can occur for you, different outcomes, just a positive mindset. And the last one is a mindset of self-belief. And that really ties into success, but it's slightly different. Self-belief that you can figure anything out. Self-belief that you're good enough to make something work, that you are powerful enough to manifest the different things you desire in your business and your life, that you are worthy of good things, that you are meant to have good things and success in all areas. a really high self-belief that you can manifest and create and make whatever you desire happen. So let's talk about the two basic steps of creating a new mindset. And again, remembering that this is a constant work in progress. But there's got to be, it's like clearing out your closet or detoxing yourself. There's always the first step of identifying and letting go of the things that no longer serve you, those clothes that aren't a match, those thoughts that feel like shit, that are not abundant, successful, positive, like identifying where are my current dominant thoughts? What am I thinking? What am I fearing? What are these ones? And that's why it's always helpful to write. And do an initial step where you list them out or type them out, the things on your mind that are negative, the things that on your mind that might feel scarce or fearful or self-doubt, all of that stuff. And you write them all out or you type them all out and then you replace them. Step 2 is always replacing them with something else. It's buying that new set of clothes when you clean out your closet. It's filling back up with fruits and vegetables when you detox all the bad stuff, right? It's putting all the good stuff back into your heart and your mind and your soul. So it's always a 2-step process. And again, I think there's got to be an initial and inner area of your life identification of what you want to let go of, and then writing out very plain what you want to put instead. And then you're going to be doing that process on the go, right? By purposefully choosing when the negative thoughts come up, the doubt, the fear, to lovingly like look at it and release it. And then also simultaneous adding in positive thoughts about yourself to encourage yourself to fire up and to create this new mindset, because it really is a new language. And we were all born speaking like our default language, right? And you have to practice something and train in something in order to add a secondary language. And what we're doing here is creating a new language for ourselves around self-belief, success, abundance, empowerment, positivity, and love. Okay. So one important thing is that I want to tell you from the beginning that insecurities and doubts and fears are going to continue to be there, especially when you're growing and evolving. So I want you to start thinking about fears and doubts differently, and not as a problem, as something we want to lovingly shift, but as a good sign of expansion. Because think about this. If you are living just the same day every day, and you're going through the same experience every day, and you're not really growing, and you're not evolving, and you're not trying new things, and you're not expanding, there's nothing really to be afraid of, right? Like there's no fears that are going to come up. You're not going to doubt yourself because your shit's predictable. And I'm not hating on this, because I lived in this reality for a very long time where years would go by and I feel like I had nothing to share about that I was proud of myself for. Like I just was very stagnant. And so, but I also wasn't scared of shit because there was nothing to be afraid of. But as I started saying yes to this calling and expanding what I was going after and going on a first podcast or putting out a first video, talking to the camera, or sending out an email to like a group of people, or writing a caption that felt vulnerable, you can bet your ass that fears, doubts, securities, oh my God, should I have done that? What are people going to think? Like all of that came up. It continues to come up. So I had to rewire this, and I suggest you do the same, to take fears and all of these doubts as just signs that you're expanding and growing. So we can begin to live with the fear and not be afraid of the fear and not take it seriously and just understand it's another voice in our mind and we get to shift it. So fear equals growth is the new vibe. Before we leave mind and go into soul, I want to discuss 4 of what I think are the biggest that I hear and that I had limiting beliefs in this area. But I'd love to invite you, if you have one that you want me to break down for you or help you work through, drop it into the chat. All right, first one is that there's too many people doing this. And again, even if you're not a coach or teacher, or retreat person or course creator, whatever, that limiting belief comes up all the time, right? There's too many people doing this. The industry is saturated. And again, squash, that fear, I want to get practical and I want to get soulful with it. So practically speaking, if you take the industry, self-growth industry, personal growth industry, coaches, whatever, as a whole, and you compare it to like lawyers, or you compare it to fitness instructors or makeup people, there's like a fraction of the people doing it. Yes, there's a fraction of people in personal growth compared to all these other industries. Like when I was an attorney, I did personal injury. I helped people who are injured in auto accidents. My father does. We had an office in this area of town. There were like 3 or 4 billboards and personal injury offices on like every block. Every billboard was an attorney. And we were still killing it. Like everybody was still going after it. No one was scared of, are there too many people doing it? Like how many attorneys are there in this world? There's not enough people. And the proof that there's not enough people in personal growth or working their light is the fact that we have so much bullshit going on. We have so many issues to solve in our country. We have so many fucked up things that are happening that our light is still needed. Like I think we would be in a more better kind of vibe if there were enough people doing this. There's not enough people doing this. There simply is not. So on a practical level, that should answer that fear for you and make that just disappear. On a more soulful level, no one's going to do it like you. In the next class, we're going to get clear on your talents and your strengths and your juice and your story and your shit, but no one's going to have that combination. And the thing that distracted me the most in coaching is to try to mimic somebody else. The more I owned myself and the way I speak and the way I like to show up and the hours I want to work and who I want to talk to and how I want to do things and what I want to say, and just found me more, which was a process, everything worked. So no one's going to be able to do what you do. And we're not about scarcity. So just too many people, we're taking that out. And we're totally going to address yours. So thank you for sharing that. The next one is, can I really like make money doing this? And this is where we have to unpack like limiting beliefs we have around, stability and finding your passion, and passion can't make money and all of those things. But practically speaking, like, while I just said that this industry is not too saturated, I will also say that this industry is lucrative as fuck. And it's big in the sense that it's been around for a very long time. Personal growth has been around for a long time. I feel like it's untapped, but if you look at the numbers, the money is there, the opportunity is there, and the industry and the predictions for where this industry are going are freaking massive. So it's not saturated at all. There's so much space. And at the same time, the shit's growing and it's lucrative, and the potential for full-time careers is a no-brainer. So take that off your plate or take that out of your mind, and also realize no one can, yes, you can make money doing this. The potential is there, the ways are there, and it's just about finding your way. Next limiting belief, am I enough? Am I enough / I'm still unhealed. I still have fucked up things in my life. I have not manifested everything I want. I haven't fixed all my self-doubt, like essentially some flavor of I am not enough. And I like how we're explaining this practically and kind of spiritually, soulfully, because practically speaking, no one is ever going to be perfect, right? There's no level of perfection needed for a human being on the planet, and that's just a fact. So we're all in an imperfect state, and we're all growing, and there's all things about us that we want to change and grow and evolve in, because that's the fucking fun work that we're doing on this planet, is growth and evolution and expansion. So by nature, there's always going to be something that's imperfect, and that's okay, because that's perfect. And I love the saying that we are a masterpiece and work of art at the same damn time. So we can be still wanting to be the best version of us, but love the shit out of ourselves and know that clients and people in the world and friends and whoever XYZ person doesn't need our perfection. They need our realness. They need just us because they are just them. How annoying is it? How do you even connect with a perfect person? Like, how annoying is that shit? People need you. People need me. People need realness. They need authenticity. So don't take that I'm still working on myself to mean anything, because we all are. And the fact of the matter is, if you have something that can benefit somebody, a piece of knowledge, a gift, a skill, something, just good energy, then it's really about you helping and serving. That ties back up to the heart in this, right? It's not about you and your perfection. It's about you, and can you share something that's going to help someone? And that might make someone feel like they're that trigger imposter syndrome. And that was kind of the next one that I'm going into is, we're so going to talk on yours in just 1 second, is like, who am I to do this? You know, I still have XYZ going on in my life. Well, you get to teach the people on what you personally have embodied or what you're learning or what can help them. Take all of that out. And what really helped me in this is, I'm going to have to find for you the quote on this, but someone said to me, God, it was someone super famous, and they've written all these bestsellers, and they're literally like, I can't even believe that I still have bestsellers, because I'm like low key waiting for someone to find out that I'm like a shitty writer. Like, we all have this weird imposter syndrome thing. You just have to recognize when we're doing it and make a choice to ignore it. Okay. Mine is, who am I to serve? I will tell you, you are a person with a calling to this. And I will tell you, you know how many people on this planet have no fucking desire to help people, and it's just not in them. This isn't awakened in them. And it's hard to think about that because you have it. But I have someone close in my life who literally has never gotten on an airplane. She has no desire to explore, see other places, see other countries. And I'm like, what? But God didn't put that desire in her for a reason. She doesn't have that desire. We don't all have the same desires, but your desires are linked to your purpose. So if you have a desire to serve, then that's who the fuck you are. You are someone with a desire, AKA a calling to serve. That's who you are. And who you are is also like someone with gifts and talents and an amazing heart and wants to help and is doing their own work. Like, that who is everything. Who, that's everything. You need to be nothing else. So that's who you are, and that's who we need serving, right? I'm not recognized or known. I've been hiding for years. Who is going to listen to me or let me help them? You also have to trust that this is a divine encounter. People that are meant to work with you or find you or read your stuff or whatever it is are destined for you. This is something way bigger than us going on. And so it's not about years in the game or accolades or stages we've been on. Like, all that is great if you're coming from it from the right place. But truth be told, like, you have a set of people who are assigned to you that need to learn from you, who are meant to work with you, and they're going to know it. And you're enough as you are. And that's where you have to constantly tell yourself you're enough and work on these mindsets. Now, this leads us perfectly into one piece of homework, which is, I want you to journal on and write about why, in response to these questions that are going to help your self-belief, help your mindset. Why are you qualified to do this? What about you? What are your skills, your gifts, your talents that make you an amazing person to hold space for others? What would make you an amazing businesswoman and an amazing coach? So, do you have a love for learning? Put that on your list. Do you deeply care about others? Put that on your list. Do you have patience? Put that on your list. Do you feel eager to learn? Put that on your list. Are you excited to grow? Put that on your list. Do you really want people to feel better? Do you have something special that you learned this year? Do you have a personal story, like something you went through and you want to help people? All of those are the qualifications. That's your fucking resume right there. So I want you to write out, tell me why you are qualified, because you are. And I want you to come up with like 20 reasons why you're qualified, why you're made for this, why you would be an amazing coach, and why you would be an amazing business owner. I'm going to type these questions. Why are you qualified? What makes you perfect for this? Why would you be an amazing coach, teacher, facilitator, creator, etc.? Why? What makes you, what makes you an amazing businesswoman? And I want you to think about your skills, your values, your heart, those internal things. Now, the last thing, and let me know if you have questions. The last thing I want to talk about, because we talked about heart, we talked about mind and mindset, letting go and replacing and busting through the fears and really different things that you can reflect on to really get you into your self-belief. And now we're going to talk about soul, because again, this has carried me so much through my career, knowing that this career, this business, this path is a soul thing. It's no longer just a random thing you want to do that's like disrespect for what this really is in your life. This is your calling. This is your destiny. This is your soul's mission. This is your purpose. This is why you're here. And the format you do it and the way you do it might shift. Give yourself space for that. Okay, bye. I'm going to record this and you can finish. Bye. Thank you for being here. See you Thursday. So where were we? This is a calling. So have respect for it and have respect for how you speak to yourself in relation to your calling. If you desire this, it is meant for you. If you want to help others, then you are called to this. So start treating this like a soul thing. It's a destiny thing. You're not going to fail at this. This is off the table. This is something that has been imprinted in you. The code is already within you. The blueprint, the plans, the destiny, it's fated, F-A-T-E, it's fate. And when you start approaching it like this, and you approach it long-term rather than short-term wins and losses or different seasons, this is a long game. This is a soul thing. This is your calling. So think of it in terms of this, and it's going to change how you approach everything. And with your heart in it, with your mind in the right place, with a heart to serve, with a mind that's positive, that's strong, that's cultivated for growth and success and empowerment for yourself. And with your soul knowing that this is a calling, you're going to be fucking unstoppable in this world and in this work and in all you do and create. So we're starting here. This is our class 1. And your last piece of homework is this. I want you to really get into your why. And I want you to answer these questions. Why are you doing this? Who is it for? Who is this work dedicated to? Is it dedicated to a younger version of you? Is it dedicated to someone specific in your life? Who is this for? Who is this dedicated to? And why does this matter? What change is this going to create in others' lives and in the world? Those are your questions. I'm going to type them below. Get so clear. Get rooted into your heart and connected to this work. And it is going to take you places you can't even dream. So I love you. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this first class. I'm so excited to hear from you, and I'll see you soon.